The 111 is such an incredible number within numerology that really points us to a higher alignment to our destinies and to our purpose and to that connection to the higher self and that sense of awakening. So a lot of times the 3 ones are represented by the finite self, kind of this temporal human experience, standing in equality with the infinite soul, standing in equality with the infinite creator. So it's a really incredible alignment between those 3 aspects of us and how they can interact with each other and really move us closer to that unity field, feeling less like lone wolves, less like we're just kind of isolated with our own problems and challenges and all of that, and open us up to the greater knowing that challenge exists throughout the universe. It's not unique to humans, and it's part of the entire package. And that's really what we're going to get into tonight. Some of you already know that last year for my birthday at the end of November, I went back to my hometown where I went to school, and I had this incredible soul retrieval before I went into this deep vision quest of fasting and meditating and all of that. And it was really amazing to kind of reclaim those parts of me and have that epiphany that I was pushing all of that away. My childhood and experience at school, as a lot of you know, was not so fun for me, and so I was really pushing all of that away when I moved out and started my new life and all of that. And I just had that recognition while I was there last year that anything we are pushing away, resisting, rebelling against, still holding resentment toward, still has power over us. And it became so clear to me, and it felt so good to get more free by letting that go. And so this year, just before the new year flipped, I went back again. I said, I think there's just a little bit more for me to do there. So I went back, and there I am, like on the playground where I grew up, and I was just reclaiming all of those pieces of my experience so that I didn't have any more resistance, any more resentment, any of those things. And of course what happened was it felt like the charge that was there, that had a certain kind of power over me, was gone. And I felt so integrated, and I felt like I could then really appreciate the experience. And that's really a huge part of our work tonight, is to recognize that there is no victory without the challenge. And the challenge isn't the enemy, the challenge is the way. And we can really start to work in present time with this essence of Providence, versus usually what happens, we achieve a certain amount of life experience, we go through a lot of different life experiences, and then we recognize Providence when we look back. And we can say, oh wow, through that whole thing, the divine was actually working in my favor. The universe was conspiring in my favor. This, that, the other happened to help me develop these compensatory skills. And I did develop so many compensatory skills during that period, and all of you have too, right? Every single one of us has developed all of these skills and cultivated wisdom. And if you think back about whatever the most challenging things were in your life, and particularly if you notice themes around them, it's a direct reflection of your destiny and what you came here to do. That is the mountain that you came here to climb. That the most challenging things, those defining moments that were so incredibly challenging, are generally what our souls came here to learn. So enter gratitude. We'll just take a little moment with this. So gratitude is a heart chakra energy, It's a love frequency. And so that's why, number one, it feels so good. But the thing about gratitude is that it doesn't discriminate, just like love doesn't discriminate. My guides always tell me the term unconditional love feels really amazing and beautiful, but it's also kind of like redundant, because if it's not unconditional, it's not love. And so the same is true for gratitude. We can't just be in gratitude for the moments that were really beautiful and pleasant and went the way that we wanted them to. We also have to notice that gratitude doesn't discriminate, that we can also choose gratitude for the harder times too, and start to again open up a bigger space through the lens of the heart to see how this providence was at work. And so in that more open field of the heart that's a bit more quantum in nature and isn't so polarized between past and future like the mind is, right? Mind has two hemispheres, brain has two hemispheres, heart is just one unified field. So when we start perceiving things through the heart lens, it's not so polarized. And then the timelines get a little bit more blurry, and then all of a sudden you find yourself in real time trusting that the challenge that you're met with is part of providence, is part of your coming of age, is part of your destiny. And that destiny is something that we choose every day. It's not something that we are moving toward. It's something that is constantly happening. It's in motion, right? So a lot of times we use that language, moving toward destiny, to like this big arrival point. But destiny is every day. Destiny is every moment. Destiny is happening and unfolding all the time. So again, if we can train ourselves to trust that whatever challenge is showing up now will make sense later. And I think everyone has experienced providence at some level, looked back, even if it was a really obvious thing, like an angel must have saved my life in that car accident, or I literally heard my grandmother speaking to me after she had passed, or, everybody has some kind of example of something supernatural. And I feel like this connection to providence really gives us an even stronger connection to those experiences too. Everything we know about the universe, which is like less than 1% of what there is, but everything that we know about the universe is still a lot that humans know about this. And we think that there shouldn't be experiences that don't logically make sense, right? Like if we look at the vastness of information that we have about the behavior of quantum physics and all these things, of course people are going to have experiences that don't fit into a logical container. And it's why they're called supernatural. Natural is still in the title. It's just supernatural because it doesn't happen as often. It's not as normalized. So when we think about that too, it just invites more experiences of that nature. And a byproduct of that is evolution, right? This is the fifth dimension where things are more connected, we're more unified, we're more telepathic. Everything is so much more harmonious. And we feel like that's a really kind of faraway dream sometimes for humanity, but we can continue to choose it. So there's something about this recognition of providence and kind of getting into real time with it and increasing our trust that's really moving us along in this 111 portal and helping us to let go of the pain. My guide said to me, if you don't own your pain and you don't own your pain and your past will own you. And that really stuck with me. I said, yes, I'm ready to reclaim every part of my experience. And in that, I'm reclaiming every part of myself so that I can show up as my whole self.